Dolly Parton spent more than 6 decades turning songs, humor, business instinct, personal hardship, and an unmistakable appearance into one of the most recognizable careers in entertainment. Her story reached another major chapter on August 25, 2026, when her family announced that she had died in Nashville at the age of 80. No cause of death was publicly provided in the initial announcement. Her passing came after months in which she had spoken publicly about health challenges while continuing to work on projects connected to her music, businesses, philanthropy, and legacy. Dolly Parton was born January 19, 1946, in Locust Ridge, Tennessee, the fourth of 12 children born to Avi Lee and Robert Lee Parton. She grew up in the Great Smoky Mountains in a household where money was scarce, but music was plentiful. Her family lived in a small cabin, and several relatives played instruments or sang. From those circumstances came many of the themes that later defined her songwriting: poverty, family loyalty, faith, ambition, heartbreak, resilience, and the desire to escape without forgetting where she came from. One of the lesser-known windows into Parton's early creativity appeared when she was still a child. According to Reuters, she was around 6 years old when she wrote a song called Little Tiny Tasseltop about a corncob doll with corn silk hair. Her mother kept the handwritten song safely in a shoebox. The story is significant because it shows that songwriting was not something Parton suddenly discovered after becoming famous. It was already a way for her to express herself as a child. Her early professional life moved quickly. Parton performed on local radio and television programs in Tennessee before eventually appearing on the Porter Wagoner Show. Wagoner became an important professional partner and helped introduce her to a national country audience. Their professional relationship eventually became complicated when Parton decided she needed to establish herself independently. The emotional tension surrounding her departure produced one of her most enduring compositions, I Will Always Love You. Rather than being written initially as a romantic song, it was Parton's musical farewell to Wagoner and their professional partnership. Parton's songwriting catalog became far larger than the hits most casual listeners know. She wrote songs that were recorded by other performers as well as by herself, demonstrating that her abilities extended beyond her own voice and image. Jolene, Coat of Many Colors, 9 to 5, and I Will Always Love You each revealed a different part of her writing personality. Her songs could be vulnerable, humorous, conversational, dramatic, or deeply autobiographical without losing their accessibility. Her appearance also became part of her public identity, but the story behind it was more deliberate than many people realize. Parton openly embraced exaggerated hair, colorful clothing, high heels, makeup, and glamorous styling. She has repeatedly explained that her look was influenced in part by a woman from her hometown whom she considered beautiful. Instead of treating criticism of her appearance as a reason to change, she incorporated the criticism into her identity and turned the visual persona into part of her brand. The result was an unusual combination: a woman presenting herself with extravagant glamour while continuing to emphasize her rural Appalachian roots. Her humor was another important element of that public image. Parton frequently used jokes about her appearance, wigs, body, age, and reputation to control conversations that might otherwise have been uncomfortable or intrusive. That self-deprecating humor allowed her to acknowledge the obvious without allowing other people to define her. Behind the jokes was a highly disciplined businesswoman who understood the commercial value of consistency, recognition, and personal authenticity. Parton's relationship with Carl Dean was one of the most private and enduring parts of her life. The couple met in Nashville in 1964 outside the wishy-washy laundromat on the day Parton moved to the city at age 18. They married in 1966 and remained together for nearly 60 years. Dean deliberately avoided celebrity life and rarely appeared publicly beside his wife. He worked in the asphalt paving business and maintained a private existence while Parton's career became increasingly international. Carl Dean died on March 3, 2025, at age 82. His death marked one of the most significant personal losses of Parton's later life. In 2025, she honored him through the song, If You Hadn't Been There, describing the importance of his presence in her life. Parton also acknowledged that caring for Dean during his final period had affected her own well-being, because she had sometimes neglected her health while concentrating on him. Parton and Dean never had children. Over the years, she explained that although she had sometimes wondered what motherhood might have been like, their child-free life allowed her greater freedom to concentrate on music, business, and charitable work. She nevertheless remained deeply connected to her extended family, including nieces and nephews, who gave her affectionate family roles outside traditional motherhood. Her relationship with children took an especially meaningful form through Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. She launched the program in 1995 in Sevier County, Tennessee, inspired partly by her father, Robert Lee Parton's inability to read and write. The initiative began by providing free books to young children and eventually expanded far beyond Tennessee. By 2026, the program had distributed more than 270 million free, age-appropriate books, with the initiative operating across several countries. Parton became affectionately known to many families as the Book Lady. The program's origins reveal something important about Parton's philanthropy. Much of it was connected to personal experiences rather than simply celebrity charity. Her father's lack of formal education stayed with her, and she turned that memory into a long-term literacy project. Her official organization reported that the Imagination Library was continuing to mark new milestones in 2026, including research into its impact on early childhood literacy. Parton's business career also extended far beyond music. Dollywood, the theme park associated with her name in Tennessee, became one of the most recognizable attractions in the American South. The park gave Parton a way to connect commercial entertainment with the culture of the Smoky Mountains where she grew up. Her wider business interests eventually included dinner attractions, lodging, merchandise, publishing, film and television projects, and other entertainment ventures. Her official website describes the wider enterprise as a reflection of her love for the Great Smoky Mountains and her desire to create experiences around family entertainment. Her philanthropy became especially visible after the 2016 wildfires in Sevier County. Through the My People Fund, she provided financial assistance to families affected by the disaster. She also became associated with medical research after donating $1 million to Vanderbilt University Medical Center for COVID-19 vaccine research, an effort connected to the research that contributed to the Moderna vaccine. These actions reinforced a pattern that had appeared throughout her career. She often directed resources toward causes connected to ordinary families, rather than limiting her philanthropy to glamorous institutions. Parton's career also crossed boundaries between country music, popular music, film, television, publishing, and musical theater. Her acting roles in films including 9 to 5 and Steel Magnolias introduced her to audiences who might never have followed country music. She later continued expanding her musical range, including the 2023 rock album Rockstar. Her awards and honors reflected the breadth of that career, with recognition from the Grammy Awards, Country Music Association, Kennedy Center Honors, and other major institutions. Her official biography notes that she became one of the rare entertainers to receive nominations from all 4 major American entertainment award organizations: the Emmys, Grammys, Oscars, and Tonys. The final months of Parton's life generated considerable public speculation, but the confirmed information is more restrained than many rumors suggested. In 2025, she disclosed that she was dealing with health challenges and later said that she had neglected some aspects of her own health while caring for Carl Dean. In 2026, she continued to acknowledge health difficulties and was unable to attend certain appearances. Shortly before her death, she discussed upcoming projects, including a major museum dedicated to her life and career in Nashville and a new Songteller hotel. Reports said doctors had advised her against some travel. Those reports are important because they separate documented developments from speculation. There were public discussions about the seriousness of her health, but Parton did not publicly disclose every medical detail, and her family announcement of her death did not initially provide a cause. Therefore, claims assigning a specific illness or cause of death should not be treated as established fact unless confirmed by her family or an authoritative medical statement. Even near the end, Parton's professional plans showed how strongly she continued to think about legacy. A museum devoted to her life was planned in Nashville, while Dollywood continued introducing new attractions. Her Imagination Library remained active, and her catalog continued to reach audiences across generations. She had spent much of her life transforming childhood memories into songs, songs into businesses, and success into charitable programs. Dolly Parton's life, therefore, cannot be reduced to the rhinestones, wigs, hit records, or famous one-liners. Beneath the larger-than-life persona was a child from rural Tennessee who began writing songs remarkably young, a songwriter who turned professional separation into a classic composition, a wife whose nearly six-decade marriage was deliberately kept away from celebrity culture, and a philanthropist who responded to her father's illiteracy by helping millions of children receive books. Her death on August 25, 2026, closed a remarkable personal chapter, but the institutions, recordings, stories, businesses, and charitable programs associated with her name remain active parts of the legacy she spent decades creating.